Welcome back. In this video, we'll talk about the ABCs of emergency. Basically, resuscitating the patient and managing the life-threatening condition before making a diagnosis. Signs of severe emergency include altered mental status, which translates into a patient that is unresponsive, confused, or severely agitated. Noisy respiration, and this is one of the big signs. Inability to speak normally, and this can be anything from strokes to choking by food. Respiratory distress, and this can translate into rapid or shallow breaths. Acute sudden weakness, sudden severe pain, head injury, sudden severe headache, and seizures. So these are the most common emergency scenarios, and now let's see how to manage them. By following the ABC sequence, we can manage any emergency case. This sequence is often extended into ABCDEf. Starting with A, airway, you have to make sure that the airway is intact and that air can go into the lungs. These are the conditions that can compromise the airway. Depending on the condition, you have to manage accordingly. And here are all the management methods. So for example, if somebody is choking on a piece of food, the management is to take that piece of food out or perform the Holman maneuver. And if somebody is having an anaphylactic shock, you simply give them epinephrine, and so on. B for breathing. So now that we have established that the airway is intact and that air can go into the lungs without any obstruction, we have to manage that the patient is breathing. These are the conditions that can compromise the breathing status, and these are the managements. According to the condition, you choose the appropriate management. If the patient is having tension pneumothorax, you need to immediately put a chest tube. If there is no improvement in oxygenation, you need to have the patient on a ventilator, and so on. C for circulation, which means that you have to make sure that there is no hemodynamic instability. Basically making sure that the blood moves around the body. Here are the scenarios that can compromise the circulatory system. And again, according to the scenario, we choose the appropriate management. Like if somebody is severely bleeding, we give them blood. And if somebody is dehydrated, we give them IV fluids. And if you cannot find any veins because of the collapse, you simply use intraosseous fluid, and so on. D for disability, which is basically assessing the consciousness and neurological status of the patient. E for exposure, you need to undress the patient and examine for any findings that can be hidden, such as stab wounds, gunshot wounds, evidence of abuse, IV drug markers, and so on. This is especially true if the patient's clothes were contaminated, like somebody who spilled some toxins on themselves. And finally, F for fever, or more specifically, temperature. You have to assess whether the patient is very cold or very hot. In cases of hypothermia, where the temperature is less than 35 but more than 30 degrees, you warm the patient using external warming. This includes blanket, warm IV fluids, some warm light, etc. If the temperature was less than 30 degrees Celsius, you have to consider core rewarming, which is done by peritoneal lavage, or thoracic lavage, or esophageal tubes. Hyperthermia is more malignant and requires more intense evaluation. This can be anything from simple heat stroke to neuroleptic malignant syndrome. In any case, you need cool IV fluids, spraying water in the patient's skin, and sometimes submerging the patient in ice-cold water. Following ABCs, after you finish them, you have to evaluate the patient by secondary survey, in which you have to take detailed history and do full examination. And that's all I have. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully these notes make things easier for you when you go to the exam, and hopefully this helps. If you find these notes helpful, please consider supporting me on Patreon as it really helps out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.